Welcome everyone to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Monday, April 2nd, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so we are approaching a new moon later on in the week. So we are entering into the ending of the last lunar cycle, which is that balsamic phase going towards this middle to later part of the week. So the key with this is that this is all about going within, right? And I think we'll feel this probably more so tomorrow, but things are definitely slowing down as we approach tomorrow. So it's a good time to meditate, to go within, to have that reflective and lowering of energy time, because it is a time of clearing out the old cycle to make way for the new. And in order to do that, of course, we do have to have that space. We have to have that presence and that awareness, which allows the old energies to be released and creates that foundation for the new energies to come into the picture. So that's going to be the backdrop of the day. Now the moon is going to be in Aquarius, so it could be leading towards that tomorrow again, a bit of this freedom loving energy. And this is what Aquarius is really about. It's about tapping into the unorthodox aspects of ourselves, right? The unique. And this is all about mixing things up, right? Because this Aquarius represents our true self, our higher self in many ways. And when we're accessing that uniqueness that is individually each of us, there is that tremendous freedom that comes from that, right? So I think it's an excellent day for that. I think it's excellent for mixing things up, whether it's the routine or whatever it might be. Now, in terms of the routine stuff, Mercury has been retrograde. So there's a lot of this autopilot stuff going on. When Mercury's retrograde, we're a bit on this autopilot where we just kind of do things automatically because we're used to them being a certain way, right? During Mercury's direct period, we were doing it and it's kind of ingrained, but now it's an opportunity to bring that extra attention to where we might be automatically doing things, right? Where we can bring that extra attention to those daily activities, to the mind, and to the communication and correspondence. So that's still very much in effect, as well as reflecting on our independence, where we can be perhaps a bit more direct in our life, maybe even with our relationships. Venus has recently gone into Aries as well. So there is a bit of this fire, there's a bit of this directness, this independence that can be had through those one-to-one connections, can be quite strong at the moment, especially with the sun here. We're gaining energy by getting that ball moving, by motivating ourselves, taking action, moving forward in life can be that source of energy. So that's the backdrop in terms of the placements. Now, in terms of the transits here today, we do have this kind of transitional day where we're coming off of, I think, a weekend of this opportunity to perhaps maybe get some of that rest, maybe some of that receptive energy with the sun sextiling up to Neptune, that tranquility, which has been that opening for that. So that's still sort of the case. In fact, I think with the moon going over Neptune today, and in fact, there's going to be this kite forming with the moon. The kite's forming up to this the same energy of the new moon. So it's involving a lot of different areas. And the key with this, with the Neptune side of it especially, is that it's about accepting uncertainty. And are we okay with not knowing how things are unfolding? And that's been that square up to Saturn. And if we are, I mean, of course, there's always a certain degree of this, but the more open we are to going with the flow, finding the peace that comes from that, the peace that comes from acceptance of life, of the present moment, of how things are, then that peace does arise, and I think it can be a very tranquil day in that sense. All right, but it's also understanding too that it's a time of still building. It's a time of still hard work, right? Not in a sense of specific outcomes, but in the sense of the process. Where can we have a bit more of that patience? Where can we have a bit more of that hard work? And by hard work, it's really more like smart work. Saturn isn't just about muscling through it and doing the actions. It's about the results. And sometimes, and I think this is going to be an emphasis with that Neptune, sometimes receptivity is the productive thing to do. Sometimes that is the thing that is going to give the results, is the non-attachment, is the letting go. And maybe a bit of that R&R, which, like I said, could be coming off of yesterday. And even with Mercury sextiling up to Chiron, Chiron has been in Pisces, helping us see that we are healing this connection to the unknown, to the divine process. And specifically what this aspect has been with our mind, perhaps letting the mind go into a tranquil state or relaxing the mind, doing any types of activities that put us into that state, such as meditation, yoga, whatever it might be. And so the healing, the rejuvenation is really coming through as we tap into that presence, that no-thingness. That's where the healing is. So I'm getting a big sense of that with especially the moon over Neptune and opposing up to Jupiter, which again has been that there's these possibilities in life, but these possibilities do take time. They do take patience. They do take that receptive approach. The moon is going to be sextiling up to Pluto, so it could be a powerful day, specifically in the second half, could be opportunity for that in terms of change, where we can create change in our life. So this is the kite formation. And what's part of it anyways is the sextile up to Pluto part, and then this T-square that's been going on. So this is a sort of prelude to this new moon. And I think it's an excellent day, again, specifically for those Neptunian things, for the patient approach, and perhaps seeing where we can create some change when needed, where necessary. And by the change is really letting go of the old patterns and stuff. Especially with the moon going over the south node in the evening time, there could be some releasing in the evening. Okay, so that's the lunar aspects. It's important because it is forming that formation. But also very important is that the sun is going to be trining up to Jupiter going into tomorrow. So this could be a bit of that free-spiritedness, that adventurousness, seeing what's possible in life. Maybe a bit of that idealistic nature, philosophical. So all in all, it's an excellent day for really tapping into that individual spark and the freedom that arises from that, as well as seeing, as I'm sure we will to some degree, what's possible and how we can tap into that adventurousness by letting go, having that faith and trust, being patient. And yet, and that's what's really doing the healing work. That's what's allowing us to have a bit of that tranquility right now, is that letting go element. Right? So it can be very expansive. Going into tomorrow, there could be insights, could be some wisdom. It's a great day for philosophy, nature, adventure, understanding more about the life path, about ourselves, and even our self-expression, expressing ourselves, even though that's reflective with that Jupiter retrograde in Leo. Right? So a lot of this inspirational kind of energy today, yet patient, yet receptive, right? And active. There's all this energy still in Aries, really moving things forward. So it's a good time to be taking action, although with that Mercury retrograde, being willing to try new things, to be adaptive, to go into new directions. And with so many planets retrograde, in fact, to be a bit internal and malleable in the process. But I think we can really enjoy that active energy. And I think it can be a source of that prana life force. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.